You're listening to the Live Fit podcast with Glenn Johnson. Here, we'll talk about all things related to good health, fitness, food, fat loss, and the mind-body connection.
Yes, it is time once again for the Live Fit podcast. I am your host, Glenn Johnson, and you are listening to episode 36. Today, I'm going to talk about fear. Not any old kind of fear, not spiders and snakes. I'm going to talk about fear of failure and how it pertains to your success in health improvement. But you know what? Sometimes we don't just fear failing. Sometimes we actually fear success. We get close to our goal, and then something happens to keep us from achieving that goal itself. So today I'm going to talk about what happens, and most importantly, what you can do about it. You will be able to find complete transcript and show notes, plus links, all on livefitpodcast.com, episode 36. livefitpodcast.com, episode 36. All right, let's hear all about fear of failure and fear of success. Take it away, Glenn. What are you afraid of? Fear? Failure? Success? We all have our fears. What are yours? Some common fears like snakes, spiders, small spaces, public speaking are all pretty obvious and pretty common. However, what I want to talk to you today about are two types of fears that are very common in my world with clients who are trying to lose weight or trying to get fit or change their diet or behaviors. These fears come in the form of failure or of success. When someone starts a new weight loss program, they do it with gusto and with the best of intentions. This, they think to themselves, is going to be the thing that finally works, the missing key. However, buying a gym membership and not using it after 6 or 8 weeks, or starting and then falling off of a diet path, is really not a big deal in today's society. It is so commonplace that people don't even question it. They start a diet, fail, and start a new one again. They buy a gym membership and, well, what do you know? There's some more money wasted down the drain. It's so common, they do it again and again and again. It's as if that's the normal path to take to success, except that it's not. Where does it leave you? The main reason people so easily jump from one diet to another, I believe, is because of this unspoken and unrecognized fear of failure or of success. They don't want to admit it, maybe they don't even know it, and that's probably the case most of the time. Our fears reach back to our early childhood experiences. Pretty obvious, right? The way we were raised, coupled with our experiences as we age, mold our reactions to situations. Our fear can be realistic and rational, or they can be irrational. Though we all have fears, they may not always reveal themselves to us or to others. For millennia, fear has kept people alive. Being afraid of a predator or dangerous situations is the number one reason why we're still here today. We don't have the same threats as we used to, but fear can still be used to help us. It is a very healthy mechanism. We want to have fear, but we want to have control over fear's effect on us. Fear can be used as motivation, either with yourself or with somebody else. Coaches use it with athletes. Athletes use it on themselves to make themselves perform harder and better. They're afraid of failing against their competition, so they get up at 5 a.m. and go for that run in the rain, in the dark, before they go to work. Fear is a marvelous tool when used to your advantage, but it can be harmful too. Fear can cause stress and anxiety. It can grow out of control and be debilitating. It can lead to irrational thoughts and actions. Fear of failure is pretty common. We have all felt that nervous pang in our stomachs and our guts as we embark on something new and different. We don't want to let anybody down. We don't want to embarrass ourselves. We are all bound to fail at some point. We've all failed in the past and gotten past it. As a toddler, you learned how to walk. How? You didn't know how immediately the first time. You had to fail. You took some steps, fell down, smacked your head, and cried. After you got your hug, you got up and did it again, and again, and again, and again. If adults had the same tenacity that toddlers did, we would be unstoppable. There would not be a single thing that you want to do that you wouldn't be able to do. Flip that coin around. If toddlers had the lack of tenacity that some adults have, none of us, or not very many of us, would be walking and talking today. See, I think we weigh the risks of failure so high. We overthink every situation. We make it way too important. We don't see the benefit of our success. Instead, we see the demise or the lack of benefit in us failing. We don't see that as a learning opportunity. We don't want to fail because failing is bad. I see failing as learning. I don't like to fail, but when I do, I get back up, dust myself off, and learn from the experience. My dad once said, "It's okay to make a mistake as long as you learn from it." How many times have you started a new diet on a Monday? Are you going to do that again? How many times have you made a New Year's resolution and not succeeded at it? Are you going to do it again? Well, it's great to be hopeful and motivated and want to better yourself. But what I'm trying to avoid is striving for something that you're not really ready and prepared to achieve. Once you reach success, you want to be able to handle it. And I also don't want you to sabotage yourself before you even get there. Now, on the flip side of fear of failure is this wacky notion of the fear of success. I know it sounds crazy. How could anybody be afraid of success? Isn't that what we're all working for? Why do we go on a diet if we don't want to achieve our goal? Hence, be successful. But in reality, the fear of success actually boils down to the fear of failure at some level. I have three primary categories for this fear of success. The first one is wanting to succeed, but fearing the reality once you have it. Examples of this: friends and family might be jealous and won't like you anymore. You might change into a person your friends won't like. Your new friends won't know the real you. 2, wanting success, but fearing you won't be able to maintain it. Losing weight only to gain it back again. Training for and completing a marathon, but then never running again. Having elevated expectations from others, and not always wanting to push yourself hard enough to be the winner. And the third one, wanting success, but not really believing that you can achieve it. Well, you've never done it before, right? It might be a waste of time or effort or money. It just might be embarrassing. These are all reasons to fear success. Can you relate to any of them? You have to decide if the effort for success is worth the possible pain that you might feel. To help you with this, I have an old-fashioned method I like to use. It's called a pro and con list. You're going to start by grabbing a pencil and a big pad of paper, maybe 2, legal preferably. You're going to sit down in a quiet, safe, distraction-free environment. No phones, no TVs, no radios, no Facebook. And you're going to do a brain dump. Essentially, you're going to dump everything out of your mind that is pertinent even a little bit to this subject. So here's what you're going to do. On 2 sheets of paper, you're going to draw a vertical line straight down the middle. On the left side on the top, you're going to write pro. On the right side, you're going to write con on both the sheets of paper. Now, on the first sheet of paper, in the middle, you're going to write success. On the second sheet of paper, you're going to write failure. So on that first sheet of paper, you're going to have pros of success, all of the reasons why you can and should and want to succeed. On the other side, you're going to do the same thing, but in the con. So in other words, why don't you want to succeed? Why will you not want to be successful? Why would success cause you more harm than benefit? Things along that nature. Now, the second sheet of paper, at the very top in the middle, you're going to write failure. So we have our pros for failing at this goal and your cons for failing at this goal. So the con for failing is, well, if I fail, I'll be embarrassed, or I wasted my time, or I wasted my effort, or I told everybody I was going to do this and now I didn't. Pretty clear, pretty obvious. That's going to be even on the superficial side. But now I want you to dig deep, drill down deep, 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 deep. And you might need a glass of wine to loosen yourself up to actually unlock the door of these hidden meanings. But why would you rather fail at attempting to achieve this goal? Is it because you'll feel better about yourself knowing that you're trying? Well, I'm not just sitting around getting fat and ugly. I'm trying. Yeah, so maybe it gives you a little inspiration. You feel good for a little while, but then what happens when you are no longer trying, when you have reached that point where you decide that you're no longer after this goal right now? You're no longer working towards it. Do you feel like a failure? That's not really good for your psyche or your mentality or your motivation, but it might be ego-saving. Next week, I'm going to talk about how you can overcome these fears. I also have a podcast about sabotage, self-sabotage, or other people close to you sabotaging. You might be interested in that one as well. I will include a link to that in the show notes. But before we finish up, I want you to really take some time on this exercise, on your pro and con list. Go crazy with it. Take your time. Don't show it to anybody if you don't want to. Keep this all private stuff, because that is how you are going to unlock that lock. Remember earlier I said this next diet will be the key, the missing key to unlock the secret so I can achieve my success, or I can achieve what I want to. This exercise will get you there. We're going to talk more about it in a week. Do your best. Get to the nitty-gritty.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Live Fit podcast. Please keep those reviews coming in iTunes and Stitcher Radio. You can subscribe, read show notes, articles, resources, and learn more about weight management programs at livefitpodcast.com. Once again, thanks for listening, and always remember to live fit.